Hi dear students, welcome you all for today's discussion on Henry Fayol's principles of management. In previous class, already we have discussed F.W. Taylor's scientific principles. In F.W. Taylor's scientific principles, the first one is science not a rule of thumb, harmony not discard, cooperation not individualism, development of each and every person to the greatest efficiency, and the fifth one, optimum production and productivity. Now, let us discuss Henry Fayol's 14 principles. Henry Fayol, father of general management, he wrote a book that is Principles of General Management and Administration. In his book Principles of General Management and Administration, he has written 14 general principles. Along with 14 general principles, he has written and he has propounded 5 functions of management. The 5 functions, father of 5 functions of management, means planning, organizing, staffing, directing and controlling. Along with 14 principles, Henry Fayol propounded 5 functions of management: planning, organizing, staffing, directing and controlling. Hence, Henry Fayol, the father of 14 principles of management and father of 5 general functions of management. To remember 14 general principles of management, this is the acronym I have designed. By remembering this, if you remember this acronym, easily you can write 14 general principles of management. The first one is I, S, E, E, D, A, D, U, S, O, C, S, R. I, C, Dad, U to so CSR. Easily you can remember 14 principles. Through these, the first letter of the each principle, you can go ahead with the particular and each and every principles of management. Here I stands principle of initiative, S stands principle of scalar chain, E stands principle of E spirit D corps, another E stands equity or equality, D stands division of work, A stands authority and responsibility, and next one D stands discipline, U stands unity of command, another U stands unity of direction, S stands subordination of individual interest to general interest, next O stands principle of order, C stands centralization and decentralization, S stands stability of workers or stability of people, R stands remuneration. I see that you too so CSR. Dear students, I see that you too so CSR. So this is the best and effective acronym to remember 14 general principles of management. Let's go ahead with in detail discussion on each and every principles of management. First one is principle of initiative. Principle of initiative. So the principle of initiative is very important for the development of the organization and effective accomplishment of the activities in the organization. Principle of initiative is very important. Who should promote principle of initiative? Who should promote this principle? The management of the organization, the top level management. They are the right people to prepare plans and policies to the organization. Here, the top level management, they should promote, they should develop, and they should create this principle among people of the organization. So here, the management must encourage, must appreciate, must develop and must satisfy each and every employee in the organization to create principle of initiative. Here principle of initiative means each and every individual of the organization should be encouraged for showing much interest, self-motivation, self-responsibilities, and enthusiasm towards the assigned task or work. That is called principle of initiative. Employees should not expect advice regularly, should not expect instructions, should not expect guidelines, should not expect motivation regularly from their superiors. They should show their self-interest and they should be involved in day-to-day activities of the organization with eagerly and enthusiastically. They should show their interest towards the work. That is called principle of initiative. Why this? What is the reason behind the implementation of principle of initiative? To avoid continuous guidelines, to avoid continuous motivating or regularly motivating each and every individual in the organization. To avoid that, each and every employee should be satisfied, each and every employee should be encouraged, each and every employee should be motivated for principle of initiative. Self-interest, self-responsibility, and enthusiastically and eagerly employees must show their interest towards the work is called principle of initiative. This is very important to prove efficiency and on-time accomplishment of organizational tasks. Second one is principle of scalar chain. See, scalar chain. Scalar chain means proper flow of authority from higher levels to lower levels in the organization, right? So principle of scalar chain means proper flow of or delegation of authority from higher levels to lower levels in the organization. Not only authority, proper flow of authority and communication from higher levels to lower levels in the organization, from top to middle and middle level to lower level management in the organization is called principle of scalar chain. So the principle of scalar chain is very important. To delegate authority. Authority means to give powers to the each and every levels of management, to command subordinates, right? To command subordinates and to instruct subordinates to accomplish the task. Authority should be given. Authority, power is very important to take command on employee. So principle of scalar chain means, so proper flow or delegation of authority and communication from higher levels to lower levels in the organization, from top level to middle level and middle level to lower level, both authority and communication. Against to that, on emergency, so scalar chain principle regularly we implement for day-to-day activities, but on emergency and critical condition we cannot maintain the hierarchy under management employees. So we cannot maintain the hierarchy during emergency and critical condition. To take faster decisions, to take quick decisions, we cannot maintain hierarchy. For example, in lower level management there are certain problems. Now they have to approach the middle, and again middle level should approach the top level, and finally the top level will look into the problem and they give solutions. It takes minimum, right, 1 day or 2 days. To avoid that, to take immediate decisions, we go against to the scalar chain, that is called gangplank. Gangplank, P-L-A-N-K, gangplank. See, what is gangplank? Shorter route of communication or shortcut way of communication or shorter method of communication. So gangplank means the shortcut method of communication during emergency. On emergency or critical conditions of the business, we use gangplank. See, in gangplank, for example, is Mr. X superior. Under Mr. X, A, B, C, D, E, F means subordinates. How many subordinates? 6 subordinates under a superior is named X. Now, as per the scalar chain, X should communicate to A should communicate to B, and B should communicate to C. And another channel number 1. This is channel number 2. I mean two channels. This is channel number 1. This is channel number 2. So for both the channels is the superior. Next, under X, D should communicate to E should communicate to F. During emergency or critical conditions, here C no need to communicate with B no need to communicate with A no need to communicate with X. Now example, now C wants to communicate with Mr. F. As per the scalar chain, C should tell to B should tell to A should tell to X, again X will tell to the D will tell to the E, and finally it will come to the F. It takes huge time to avoid this gangplank. In this, E directly can communicate with, C, A, B, C. C directly can communicate with the F. So this is called gangplank. What is gangplank? One more question. You may get this question in annual examination. What is gangplank? A shorter route of communication only on emergency or critical conditions of the business, and which is totally against to scalar chain principle, is called gangplank. Next one is principle of equality or principle of equity. So principle of equality is very important. Principle of equality is very important. This is very essential to each and every business to maintain harmonious working environment in the organization, to design and develop peaceful working environment, to avoid certain clashes, right? To avoid certain clashes and problems in the organization, principle of equality is very important. So equality means equal treatment, equal opportunities, distribution of equal opportunities, equal facilities to the all employees of the organization, right? While providing facilities, while giving opportunities, right? Each and every employee should be treated equally in the organization. That is principle of equality, equal opportunities. So this is very essential. Next one is principle of E-spirit D corps. See, principle of E-spirit D corps, to create team spirit, to create the confidence among the employees of a particular team, right? To create the confidence among the employees of the particular team, principle of E-spirit D corps is very important. So here the management must create team spirit among the employees. Team spirit means confidence and loyalty among the members of the organization towards organizational work. So the teamwork is very important. The team spirit is very important to reach organizational goals and objectives. And basically and generally, organizational tasks will be accomplished through teamwork. To accomplish a project, teamwork is very important. To increase the efficiency among the team members, team spirit is very important. Team spirit means creating confidence and creating competent working environment among the team members of the organization to compete with another team and to increase production and productivity compared to other teams of the organization. Principle of E-spirit D corps is very important. So management should create team spirit among the employees to make them very competent and confidence and loyalty. Next one is principle of division of work. So principle of division of work is very important. So based on the nature of the work and the activities, we divide total organizational work into smaller units. This is the total organizational work will be divided into smaller units. So principle of division of work. Why principle of division of work? To assign right work to the right people of the organization. Principle of division of work is very important. To assign right work to the right people means, for example, total organizational work divided into several parts. For example, production work, marketing work, advertisement work, sales and distribution work, right? Finance work. Now assigning right work to the right person in the organization. This is about principle of division of work. What is principle of division of work? Total organizational work or the entire organizational work will be divided into smaller units, and each unit will be performed by individual of the organization, and assigning of work to the each and every individual or giving work to the each and every individual based on their qualification, based on their experience and based on their talent. That is principle of division of work. So this is very important. This is very important to increase efficiency and to avoid duplication of work, repetition of work, and to minimize the scrap. Principle of division of work is very important. And the next one is principle of authority and responsibility. Both are very important. Authority and responsibility. So here, what is authority? Authority means delegation of powers. Delegation of powers, or giving power to the person to take command on his or her subordinates is called authority. Authority means the power of a person. Authority means power of a person. Why? To take command, to instruct, to assign the work to the subordinates. Authority is very important. Generally in the organization, top level management, they give authority to the middle level management. Middle level management, they give authority to the lower level management. So authority means power. Why power? To take command on subordinates, to control the subordinates. Along with authority, responsibility. So responsibility means duty or task. What is responsibility? Duty or task. So here, what is responsibility? An obligation or duty to accomplish the given work is called responsibility. And always authority flows from top level to lower levels in the organization, means downward movement. Top levels to lower levels are downward movement, and responsibility upward movement from subordinates to superior. Means here, who is responsible to whom in this responsibility? Subordinates are responsible to their superior. But in authority, from superiors to subordinates. Flow of authority always from superiors to subordinates, and responsibility always from subordinates to superior. Always superiors, they give work to the subordinates after the accomplishment of work. Who is responsible to whom? Subordinates are responsible to superior. So authority, responsibility. Authority means power, right? Authority means power to command subordinates, to assign the work, to control their behavior, right? Authority is very important. Then responsibility means duty or task. So always responsibility flows from subordinate to superior. So these 6 principles, very essential. Not only these 6, even the remaining principles of management, right? In 14 principles, we have discussed only 6, right? Still we have to discuss 8 principles. Remaining 8 principles also very essential and very crucial. So 14 principles of management, right? 14 general principles are the general directions, and these 14 principles play advisory role and use it to give advice and use it to give instructions and ideas to the people of management and each and every individual in the organization to go ahead with their activities. Thank you, students. Thanks for watching. Do share, subscribe, and comment.